and Jamie Merchant. So out of the Jamaican side, Christopher Lamont, Nicholson Gordon, Jermaine Harrison, and Christopher Powell. They're being coached by Andrew Richardson, the former Jamaican fast bowler, and the manager is Kerry Scott. We're getting the final composition of the Guyanese team as we speak, and once we get it, we will bring it to you. So we're going to see the attack from the far end, and it will be Chadwick Walton who will face the bowler coming from that far end, as number 10 on his back, and the electronic scoreboard will identify that particular player momentarily. The crowd is a small one, and perhaps it's understandable, and maybe once they know that the final is on, spectators may well begin to come into the ground here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium to watch the proceedings. So the first ball of the final, the umpire just stretching out his arm there. That's Felix Ogis stopping the player on his way in, and the signal of dead ball followed. So the first ball now will be bowled, and it's down the leg side, and immediately Jamaica off the mark. Ball slipping down the leg side, and Chadwick Walton had a flick and did not been able to make contact. It's Sherfin Rutherford who is opening the attack for Guyana with number 10 on his back. So an extra to begin proceedings, and Jamaica put into bat in the Independence Tri-Nation final here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. They're 1 for the wicket. Here is Sherfin Rutherford in, another delivery down the leg side and called again by Felix Ogis. So not quite getting his line right, slipping those two balls down the leg side, and Anthony Bramble having to move away to his left to take.
Yes, not the best of starts, really, for Rutherford. Back-to-back wides, and just maybe a little bit of nerves, knowing that it's a big finals.
He's on his way once more. Will he get it right? Again down the leg side. So 3 wides to begin with. And you're right, it may well be nerves here, because to bowl 3 consecutive wides at the start of a final, certainly not something you would be looking to do, and maybe it's a situation where he is a bit nervous at the start of this game. So Jamaica put into about 3 for no wicket, all wides, bowled by Sherfin Rutherford. He'll try to get it right as he runs past the umpire now. This is pulled away down towards the backward square position. It will go away for 4. The fielder is in pursuit. He will lose the battle, and that's 4 runs. So an expensive start here by Sherfin Rutherford, and that was on the short side, again angled into the right-hander, and Chadwick Walton, a very, very business-like batsman, no-nonsense player. He just helped it around down to the backward square position. The fine leg inside the circle could not get there, and 4 runs to Chadwick Walton. He's 4. The score 7 for no wicket in the first.
Yeah, it's the worst possible start by Rutherford. 3 wides, and then a delivery pitch on leg stump as well, hit away for 4. Not a very good start.
So here is he, outside the line of the off stump, and cut away for 4. So 2 wide, 2 short outside the off stump, and consecutive 4s have been hit of the bowling of Rutherford, and so that has gone away for 4 down to the point position. 11 for the wicket. Good shot.
Yes, certainly was. And Rutherford having some issues here. 3 wides down the leg side, then a 4, then a 4 again. So he's having a torrid time in his first over with only 2 legitimate deliveries gone.
Yes, it's 11 for no wicket. He comes in now, and it's turned away, but straight to the fine leg fielder. So a dot ball eventually. Ball turned away, angled into the right-handed Chadwick Walton, and he just rolled the wrist on it, and it went very, very quickly to the fielder at that fine leg position inside the 30-yard circle, and so no run resulted. It remains on 11. Only 3 balls gone in the over. We'll give you the Guyanese team momentarily. Sherfin Rutherford runs in right arm over the wicket, and it's outside the off stump and cut away. But Chadwick Walton not quite getting the timing into the shot, and he goes bouncing out towards the cover position, and there is no run. So Guyana, they're feeling Robin Bacchus, Gajanan Singh, Leon Johnson, Jonathan Fu, Anthony Bramble, Kimo Paul, Sherfin Rutherford, who is operating now, as he runs in to bowl to Chadwick Walton, who's driving, and another dot ball. The ball going on the offside of the pitch, and the bowler following through fields, having received an accommodating bounce. Also in the side, Veerasamy Pramal, Romario Shepherd, Ricardo Adams, and Ramal Lewis. That's the team for Guyana. So out of the team, Stephen Jacobs, Ransford Beaton, as ball is outside the off-stump and cut away down to the backward point position, 4 runs. A very expensive over bowled there. So 15 runs came from that opening over. Rutherford all over the place, starting with 3 wides, and then was turned away down to the fine leg area for 4 runs and 2 short deliveries outside the line of the off-stump, given the treatment by Chadwick Walton. Smashed away for boundaries, and Jamaica off to a flying start, put into bat by Guyana in this Independence Tri-Nation final here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. A game reduced to 15 overs aside because of the late start due to rain. There 15 for the wicket, with Walton on 12 and Stephen Taylor yet to face.
It's a terrible start for both Guyana and, well, Rutherford and Guyana. Is the start that they didn't want, but have to admit that he was really under pressure. Started with 3 wides and then hit for 3 fours as well. So he's been all over the place. So having conceded 15 runs from that over, I'm not so sure if we'll see him getting a second over anytime soon, because it's an expensive start.
So we're going to see the resumption of the attack from the commentary box end, and it will be Romario Shepherd who will be bowling from the commentary box end, 18 on his back. He runs away from us now, into bowl to the left-handed Stephen Taylor, and Taylor is slashing this ball away down to 0.4 runs. He had the room, and he executed it very, very well. It was on the short side, so it's a poor start by Guyana. That was a delivery inviting the cut shot, and Stephen Taylor was onto it in a flash, and he cut it down to the point position for 4. He's off the mark right away with the boundary, and Jamaica have sped 19 for no wicket at the start of the second over.
It was a gentle loosener on the part of Shepherd. Nice and easy, short and wide delivery. And knowing the kind of player that Taylor is, he wasn't going to miss out, and cracked it past point for 4.
Will he get his line right? Here is Romario Shepherd, and the ball is an attempted pull shot. He doesn't get hold of it. It just rolls on the offside of the pitch to be picked up by the bowler. I think it was undone there by maybe the pace, and also the line wasn't quite in that line to be pulled towards the mid-wicket area. I think there's where he was aiming for. It's an unprotected mid-wicket position. There's a fielder on the boundary, but he's square. So Romario Shepherd will turn below us and will run away. There is no slip in place. A third man as he's in, and this is a pull shot, but again not getting the timing, no placement, and the ball goes towards the mid-wicket position, and there is no run. Looks to be Leon Johnson, the captain, in that mid-wicket position, and there is no addition to the score. It remains on 19 for no wicket. We're halfway through the second over of the innings. Romario Shepherd is the man operating from the commentary box. So Sir Curtly Ambrose end, he's in, and he slows down and does not deliver. Signal of dead ball comes from umpire Sylvester bouncing at Joseph. So Christopher Barnwell is back in the Guyanese team. Christopher Barnwell is playing tonight, and Chandrapal Hemraj has been left out of the side. He played in the last match. Here is a drive attempted to a full-length delivery outside the line of the off-stump. Going on bended knee was the batsman Stephen Taylor, but not being able to make contact, taken by Anthony Bramble behind the stumps. So Guyana making 2 changes. Chandrapal Hemraj and Ramal Lewis left out of the side, and Christopher Barnwell has come in. Gajanan Singh has come in as well. This ball is turned away into the onside. He can't get a run. Goes to Johnson. The ball traveling too quickly, towards the straightish mid-wicket position, and Johnson was there to do the fielding. So after a bad start with that short ball outside the off stump, he has gotten it right, Romario Shepherd.
Yes, he has bowled well through this tournament. And like I said, that first delivery was just like a gentle loosener. But since then, he has really on the mark and bowling well.
He's on his way. 19 for no wicket. Last ball in the second over. And it is pulled away down to backward square, 4 runs. Well, he started badly and ended badly. It was on that short side, this time outside the line of the leg stump. And the batsman pivoted, the left-handed Taylor, and he whipped it away down to the backward square position. No chance for the fielder on the square leg boundary. And 4 more runs. A terrific start by Jamaica, put into bat in the final of the ABCA Independence Tri-Nation Series at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. They're 23 for 2. 23 after 2 overs. 23 after 2 overs with 12 to Chadwick Walton and 8 to Stephen Taylor.
It's a great start for Jamaica. And they just have to capitalize on this wonderful start and try to... These 2 players, Walton and Taylor, are very aggressive, can score quickly, and I'm quite sure they don't want to bat as many overs as possible, bat deep into the innings, lay the foundation, and get them team to a big total. Shepherd, on the other hand, he usually swings the ball away from the right-hander, so he's having a little bit of difficulty, with the left-hander, with the ball swinging in. So what he needs to do is to start the delivery just a little bit outside off stump. Once you start the delivery too straight, swinging into the left-hander, there's always a chance it's going to be hit through the leg side.
Predictably, Sherfian Rutherford has been pulled out of the attack. Kemo Paul is in, and it's turned away down towards the fine leg position. The fielder runs outside the circle to retrieve, and they scamper a run. 1 more to the Jamaican cause. They're now on to 24 for no wicket at the start of the third. And that single has pushed Chadwick Walton, the right-hander, onto 13. And it's Taylor on 8 who comes into strike. So again, Jamaica put into bat after Guyana won the toss, and Jamaica unchanged. So they're having their lineup: Stephen Taylor, Chadwick Walton, Orain Williams, Trevor Griffith, Andrew McCarthy, Fabian Allen, O'Shane Walters, Pete Salmon, Odin Smith, Paul Harrison, and Jamie Merchant. And Guyana making 2 changes. Kemo Paul bowls around the wicket to the left-hander, and it's stayed away down to third man. The fielder runs off the boundary. That's Rutherford, Shepherd, Romario Shepherd, coming off the boundary. And the batsmen are through for 1. 9 now to Taylor, and Chadwick Walton on 13 comes back into strike in the third over of the inning. So the changes made by Guyana, Ramal Lewis and Chandrapal Hemraj have made way for Christopher Barnwell and Gajanan Singh. So those are the changes made by the Guyana team. We'll go through the full lineup momentarily, as this ball is taking the batsman on the pad. Chadwick Walton, he was trying to whip it through the onside, and he was really playing across the line there, but the ball was angled into him, and there was no peel, so clearly that would have missed the leg stump, but he was playing across the line on that occasion.
Yes, and this guy Kemo Paul, I like him. I must say, he looks to be a thinking cricketer. Very confident, very positive.
So here is a ball which is short and whipped away down to square leg. There's a fielder out there, and that seems to be Virasamy Pramal in that position at square leg. One of the top wicket takers for Guyana in the tournament. In fact, he leads with 7 wickets for Guyana in the tournament so far. Romario Shepherd has picked up 5, and they have been the main wicket takers for the Guyanese team. Virasamy Pramal having 2 3-wicket hauls. Ball steered away down to third man. Coming onto the front foot is the left-handed Taylor, just opening the face of the bat and running it down to Romario Shepherd for another single. So comparatively, it has been a quiet over for the Jamaicans, because they got 20. It was 22 or 23 from the first 2 overs, and now it is 27 with 1 ball left. 1 ball left in the third over of the innings, and it's played away down to the mid-off position, and they go for an easy single. Chadwick Walton, the beneficiary on this occasion. So we've had 3 overs, and Jamaica put into bat in the final. They are 28 for the wicket, with 15 to Chadwick Walton and 10 to Stephen Taylor.
A little bit of a relief for Guyana, having conceded 23 runs in the first 2 overs. You know, with his 3rd over only cost them 5 runs. It's a welcome relief. But like I was saying earlier, Jack, that I find since the Under-19 tournament, when I've seen Kemo Paul for the first time, and to have seen him in this senior cricket now, I reckon that he's a decent prospect, one for the future. Seems to be a thinking cricketer. I really think that once he's willing to learn and trying to find ways to improve his game, he could be one for the future.
Because he's a young man as well, so he should be one that the selectors should be keeping their eyes on as a young, promising all-rounder, Kemo Paul, in this Guyanese team. And just looking at his age, 19 years of age. So here is Romario Shepherd as he continues. This is a short ball which is whipped away down to the backward square position. It has gone fine, and that's 4 runs. Chadwick Walton just getting a ball and helping it down to the backward square position. It was on the short side. It was angled into him, a right-hander, and he played it with the swing and down to backward square for 4. So the boundaries are coming. Chadwick Walton is now on to 19, and the score has gone into the 30s. It's on to 32 for the wicket.
Yes, Shepherd at this point not getting it right. He usually swings the ball away from the right-hander, but he can't seem to find any swing at the moment, and he's really under some pressure. Not only him, but the whole Guyana team, for that matter, are under pressure because Jamaica, as you just mentioned a few moments ago, raced to 32. And this is only the start of over number 4. So a lot of work to be done.
Yes. I promised to give you the Guyana team. It's Robin Backus, Gajanan Singh, Leon Johnson. Here is Romario Shepherd. And this is hit over the top. I think it will go all the way. Yes, it does. Hit over the top of wide long on for 6. The first 6 of the match. Again on the short side, giving the batsman a lot of time to play. And Chadwick Walton, in this attacking mood, was prepared to go over the top and hit it beautifully. It sailed away for 6, and Walton goes to 25 with that 6. And the score has rushed up to 38 for no wicket in the 3rd over, in the 4th over.
That's a man in good form, Chadwick Walton, the skipper, really playing well. And Romario Shepherd continues to struggle. He's looking a shadow of himself because he's been having a good tournament up to this point, but for some reason he's not getting his act together.
One of the leading bowlers with 5 wickets. He goes in, and this is hit beautifully over the top, 6 runs. Oh, he just played through the line, and he played that with a lot of confidence, Chadwick Walton. It was up to him this time, and Walton drove it, and there was that sound, that sweet sound, once the ball made contact with the bat, and it went very, very quickly away to a right here, into the stand on the western side. And that has gone away for 6. Chadwick Walton hitting successive 6s, and the score's rushed into the 40s. It's 44, and Walton is on to 31.
Like I said a moment ago, Jack, he's in prime form, Chadwick Walton, and that shot was a brilliant shot over long on, I beg your pardon, effortlessly. He's just a sweet timer of the cricket ball. He makes it look so easy, Chadwick Walton.
And he has gone over 100 runs in the tournament. He came into the match with 75. Here's he trying to play the ball down towards the backward square position, and they scamper what may well be a leg by, if there is any signal from Sylvester Joseph. And there doesn't seem to be, so there must have been a little bit of bat onto that one. There was an appeal by the bowler, maybe in hope more than expectation. He wanted to get rid of Chadwick Walton. Anyone who ever hit you for consecutive 6s with such aplomb, you really wanted to see the back of them. But there had to have been an inside edge there because there was no signal from the umpire.
Yes, and the ball kept a little bit low. I thought he was in some trouble being legged before.
Well, they cross, and now it's a tail on strike, and he's defending, pushing the ball into the offside. They go for the quick single, and the return comes towards the bowler's end, but it was well wide of the mark. and backed up in the onside. And the score is now on to 46 for no wicket. Walton 32, Taylor on 11, 1 ball left in the fourth over. So just to complete the Guyana team: Leon Johnson, Jonathan Fu, Anthony Bramble, Kimo Paul, Sherfane Rutherford, Virasamy Pramal, Romario Shepherd, Ricardo Adams, and Christopher Barnwell. Ramal Lewis, Stephen Jacobs, Ransford Beaton, and Chanda Paul Hemraj left out of the side. Sometimes it's Chandra Paul, sometimes it is Chanda. I think it's Chandra Paul Hemraj. And this ball is whipped over the top, 6 more. Well, 3 sixes have been hit by Chadwick Walton in this over, bowled by Romario Shepherd, and he would like to forget it. The 50 coming up, 50 of 24 balls in just 20 minutes. So the 50 coming up for Guyana of 24 balls in 20 minutes, and it's mainly due to the batting exploits of Chadwick Walton. He hit 3 sixes in the just completed 4th over of the innings by Romario Shepherd, and the last one was hammered away over the mid-wicket position, and from the moment it left the bat, you knew it would have been 6.
Most certainly, and I'm quite happy to see Chadwick Walton, the captain, at the top of the order, because we alluded to that a few games back when he came in the middle and didn't quite work. And I've always said that he's better off at top of the order because he's such a wonderful player, very destructive, and he needs as many deliveries as possible to be a success. And I'm quite happy to see that he's doing so well at top of the order. To me, he's more fitted and more comfortable in that position.
And certainly has shown his worth since he promoted himself to the opening position in the last match. I think he got 43 in that game against Antigua and Barbuda. Yes, he got 43 in the last game. Turned away as we have spin. Virasamy Pramal is into the attacks, and Stephen Taylor gets a single, just working the ball away just beyond the 30-yard circle in the vicinity of wide mid-wicket for the man on the mid-wicket boundary to come in and do the fielding. And the score is now on to 53 for no wicket. Taylor on 12, Walton on 38. The dangerous Walton comes in to strike against Virasamy Pramal. I think he has been introduced into the attack because in the last match he bowled Walton. Virasamy Pramal bowled him, and I think he went for 1. So it's a strategic move by the captain, and he would have remembered that. So he has brought Virasamy Pramal into the attack ostensibly, I think, to remove him. This ball is swept away down to the backward square position. There are 2 fielders just maybe about 12 yards apart. There's the orthodox short finder, and there's a fielder at that backward square position a few yards to the right of the umpire Sylvester Bouncing Joseph. And this ball is hammered away through the mid-wicket position, and that's 4 runs. It was on the short side, and Chadwick Walton, in this aggressive mood, was not prepared to allow that one to go by, and he really hammered it. There's a long on in place, and the ball went not too far from the long on fielder, but it was so well timed, he had absolutely no chance. Chadwick Walton is rushing up towards his half century. He's now on to 42, and the score is 57 for no wicket halfway through the 5th over.
Short delivery by Virasamy Pramal, and Chadwick Walton, a man in such great form, was never going to miss out.
Here is a ball which is whipped away down to the backward square position, and they've crossed for 1. They won't come back for the second. They won't chance it, and the return comes on the bounce. Quite a difficult return there for Anthony Bramble, but it was released quickly towards the base of the stumps, and they got a single for that. So Walton is on to 43, the identical score he had in the last match, and that game was against Antigua and Barbuda. A game Jamaica won to book their spot in tonight's final, a match which has been delayed because of rain, and it's 15 overs aside. Taylor gets a run as he pulls the ball away down to the deep mid-wicket position, and he has been playing second fiddle in his opening partnership. He's on to 13, and Chadwick Walton on 43 comes in to strike to face the last ball of the 5th over of the innings. So Guyana winning the toss and putting the opposition into bat in this final. a final, the ABCA Tri-20 Independence Cricket Tournament final. We have sponsors on board. This ball is outside the line of the off-stump and cut away down to the backward point position. He can't score. And at the end of the 5th over, it's 59 for no wicket. 59 for no wicket with Chadwick Walton on 43 and his opening partner Stephen Taylor on 13. The championship sponsored by Cool and Smooth Special Security. The Ministry of Sports is Bryden, local agents for Blue Waters and Caribbean and ABS Radio. More from Secretary Ambrose and then the voice of Seth Burton.
Considering how the game is going at the moment, where both Taylor and Captain Chadwick Walton really hammering balls all parts of the ground, where Sammy Pomwell conceding 7 runs from his first over, that's rather refreshing in terms of the score. So wickets are going to be key here, and as we see Leon Johnson talking, to his bowler, but both Taylor and Walton are off to a flyer. 59 without loss in 5 overs. That is great going, and if they continue like this, we should see a big total. And Guyana now searching for wickets. As I say, good evening to my good friend Seth Burton.
Good evening, Sir Kirtley, and good evening to listeners. Well, the Jamaicans, they are having the better of the Guyanese at this stage. They're going at over 10 runs per over, close to 12 runs per over. Here is Stephen Taylor going back and playing the ball into the point position. Good tumbling save from Christopher Barnwell. That's Adams, the left armer, who comes in, rightly so, to replace Shepherd because he was really beaten. Went for 32 runs from his 2 overs. That's pretty much a beating.
Yeah, it certainly was. And, I mean, like I said, he was having a pretty decent tournament up until this point. I don't know if it's the finals nerves or what, but it just doesn't seem to be the Shepherd we've seen previously.
Thought he was bowling too short. He gave Walton too much room. The ball, was really bouncing nicely for the batsman. And hence he was struck for, 2 of the 4 sixes, sorry. Well, in fact, 3 went in the onside. He was not pitching the ball up. I think you made the point. He usually moves it away from the right-hander, but somehow he was getting it into Walton's pad, and he loves that. But here is Walton. Will face up to the left-arm orthodox Adams. Short delivery pulls down to the fielder, who stopped for a moment and deciding not to challenge it. That's Jonathan Fu. I think had he come challenge the ball, it would have been there for a catch.
I thought so. I thought for a minute it was going to go down his throat. And then he started to come, then stop. Probably misjudged it. And the ball fell agonizingly short of him. To me, I thought he could have made a better effort.
Certainly. Maybe he was sleeping a bit. The players must be commended because they were delayed for 2 hours and 15 minutes for the start of this game. Here's Adams to Taylor. Taylor pulls this. Will it go straight over the boundary? The long-on fielder Shepherd was coming around, could not have gotten close to it, and the ball went over the ropes for 6. Taylor joins the party, moves to 20, joins, in fact, this partnership with Walton moves up to 67 or 5.3 overs, and the Jamaicans are really reigning boundaries here in this Tri-Nation Series finals.
They certainly are. The boundaries keeps coming and coming, and Guyana bowlers at the moment have no answer.
Adams comes in once again to Taylor. Taylor steers this one down to Food. The return comes in, but good bit of running. Good indication on the part of Walton. He was already charging down after Taylor steered the ball down to 3rd man. And that single takes Taylor to 21. Walton, who is on 44 from 20 deliveries, will come in to face Adams. So the Guyanese, they have tried 4 bowlers already. Shepherd, Paul, Rutherford, and now Adams. In fact, 5. Here is he pulling this one. That's the 50. 6 over mid-wicket. In fact, hitting the big screen here at the Sir Viv Richards cricket ground. Chadwick Walton gets his 50 of 21 deliveries. A sparkling knock so far.
Certainly is. And like I said earlier, he's a man in prime form. Chadwick Walton really playing well, and I have to say again to our listeners that I've always said that he's better suited at the top of the order. He's just a wonderful cricketer, time the ball sweetly. He can make use of the first power play and all that stuff, so I'm quite happy that he's at top of the order. I think he's better suited, Seth, because coming at number 5, too much pressure for him, especially if you lose a couple of quick wickets. Then you have to rebuild. And I think is really, really the best position for him is at top of the order, and he's showing that.
And taking charge of the power play, and that is what he did in the first four overs, and now he seems inclined to continue here in over number 6. He's already on 50. The Jamaicans are 74 without loss of 5.5 overs. They're still trying to find the ball, by the way. The youngsters they have helped Kimo Paul in finding the ball, so the ball is back. But if he continues, he could well get 100. And what seems possible is that even though we are playing 15 overs, we could well see maybe the highest score being set by a team in this championship, because both batsmen have been going great guns. Walton 5 4s and 4 6s in his 50.
Yes, I mean, you're quite right, Seth. If he continue like this, it could easily be 100, because this is only over number 6. He's already 50. So if you bat another 8 overs, who knows?
Adams comes into Walton. Walton swings this one over mid-wicket once again. 6 more runs. The youngsters are very happy to retrieve the ball. That was short. It was into his pads, and he stood up, and he really, with a flurry, just really helping the ball over mid-wicket for 6. He moves to 56. The score after 6 overs, 80 without loss. Jamaica going at over 13 runs per over, and Walton has struck his 5th 6, 5 6s, 5 4s from 56. So 50 runs in boundaries.
And none of the Guyana bowlers at this point have any answer for Chadwick Walton. They just don't know how to bowl. If the ball is short, they smack away for a boundary or for maximum. And if they pitch it up, he smacked them as well. So what are you going to do? They're under tremendous pressure at this point. And like you said, if Chadwick Walton bat all 15 overs, 1, he could get 100, and 2, we could see the highest total in his competition.
It's already 80 after 6 overs. That's unbelievable. What a way to start in the finals. The Guyanese may be saying, why did we really put them into bat? But no one knows. The rain was coming, or I would call it the persistent drizzle was coming all night, and it looked as though there may not have been a match. But we must give credit to Anthony Merrick and the rest of his ground staff, so that things could have gotten on. Here is, Barnwell comes into the attack. This one struck out the ball. Brilliant catch. Dive into his left. What a catch. A good way to get a wicket, because this was Barnwell's first delivery, and there was the big man, Steve Taylor, was pulling it. I thought the ball was going towards the boundary. It was going away to the left of Paul, and he made that look so easy through sheer athleticism. Excellent catch, and we get Guyana's first wicket after 6 overs and 1 ball.
Yes, it was hit powerfully by Stephen Taylor. He really struck it well. He was traveling at a quick pace, and he took a brilliant catch by Kimo Paul on the mid-wicket boundary to dive to his left. And I said that he's a good, decent cricketer. Excellent. Only 19 years of age, and with time, he could be one for the future. But it was a brilliant catch in the end, because the ball was really going. It would have been a flat 6.
Yes.
And first wicket for Guyana.
Well, it took something like this to stem the flow of runs, because this was really spectacular, or it has been spectacular so far by the Jamaicans. So Taylor going for what, 20? Taylor, the last man out, I didn't quite get his score. He went for 21. Caught Paul off the bowling of Barnwell after 6.1 overs. And now we have seen Trevor Griffith, who is also in fine form. So more to come, Guyana. Barnwell, who has just returned to his place in the team. I believe he was suffering from an injury. The caliber of player, the nature of player, he would have been in the starting 11 at any time. Here he comes into Griffith. Griffith drives out towards the fielder, who comes off the long off boundary. Single to Griffith. Griffith has scored 97 runs, so this is his 98th run of the tournament as he gets off the mark. The left-hander, Griffith is a Guyanese, but he's playing for Jamaica because he plays with the Jamaicans in the regional championship. So he would have, well, whichever team wins, even though he may be on the winning team playing, you know, if Guyana would emerge winners, he would still have some national pride in that.
But I'm quite sure he would prefer to win.
Precisely,
to
playing and winning.
Have some bragging rights as well.
I could tell you about that. Here is Walton. This time works this one off the pads. Good delivery on the part of Barnwell. I think he has shown in his experience so far. Taking the wicket is one, but also just allowing singles in the other two deliveries. And here is, well, Walton, the man who they really need to get out, because he has moved to 57 from 23 balls, as we would have said, 5 sixes and 5 fours, and they would need to get him out if they're going to have a chance at winning this game, because if he remains, they will be chasing close to 200. Here is, a good delivery. This time there was Griffith. He was a bit tentative. He should have played a drive at that one. He was trying to cut a ball that was not short enough to cut at, and it was also pretty close to the off stump. He was beaten in the end, but I think he would need to rethink that approach. Griffith, the left-hander, not as big as Stephen Taylor, taps his bat and awaits his Barnwell comes into him, drives a better shot. The ball goes to the fielder who comes in to the point position, picks it up and returns the ball to Christopher Barnwell. Barnwell would have captained the guy in the team in the past, but this time it's Leon Johnson, and they would have also had Stephen Jacobs leading the guy in the team, so they've had pretty much exchanges in terms of captaincy. Barnwell comes in, driven by Griffith, but out towards the fielder coming off the long off boundary. They're coming back for the second, and they have rightly done so. Barnwell is unhappy because the fielder was a bit lethargic after reaching the ball, as though he resigned himself and said, I had it covered. An excellent running between Walton and Griffith. They were able to squeeze two when it looked as though it would have been one run. Griffith moves to 3. The Jamaica score moving up to 84 for 1 after 7 overs. Walton is on 57.
And Chris Barnwell have all right to be upset with the fielder, because it was a very, very ordinary effort. The ball was played very firmly down to long off. Should have been one, just a single. But he moved so lazily to the ball that Chadwick Walton noticed that he was really liming, basically, and called for the second and got it quite comfortably in the end. So Chris Barnwell was quite right to be upset about it. Very, very ordinary effort.
Very ordinary effort. So Guyana, Sammy Pomol is going to come back for his second over. His first over, he only cost him 7 runs. There was also a pretty decent over as well from Kemo Paul, who conceded 5. So those two are trying, well, everybody's trying hard, but previously we saw Rutherford and we also saw Shepherd being really taken to the sword, particularly Shepherd, whose 2 overs have gone for 32 runs. Down the leg side, wide signal by the umpire. Umpire Joseph stretches his arms out, signaling to both the scorers in the box and the one on those on the manual scoreboard. Here is, this time he is, well, it's 6 runs. That one was flat. I thought he was in a bit of danger as Rutherford was on the long on boundary, but it was flat. It was straight, and Walton is timing the ball. We didn't see a lot of power in that shot, but he really picked it, and in the end, it flew down to the long on boundary for 4. Chadwick Walton moves into the 60s. He's 63 from 24 balls. Jamaica 91 for 1, 7 overs and 1 ball.
And we have seen the best of Chadwick Walton. He's in prime form.
He would have had 99 previously as his top score in T20. So it is likely that he could eclipse that tonight.
Yeah, and that was when he was playing for CCC. I was a part of the coaching staff when he got that in Trinidad.
I know you have to take the credit. Here is he going back this time, back over the bowler's head. This will be 4, beating the fielder coming in from long on and the one from long off. They almost clashed, and the ball went between them. So Chadwick Walton moves on to 67, and he's really propelling the Jamaicans to a very strong position here. They're 95 for 1. And you have seen the best of him, and perhaps there is better to come.
Yes, that was superbly timed. They had a long off and a long on who sprint for all their worth, and they bisected them. They had no chance at all, and that's perfect timing on the part of Chadwick Walton.
What do you do in a situation like this? Here is Pramod to Walton. Walton gets one outside the off stump, cuts at that. And the ball goes out to the fielder who comes off the cover boundary. Sends the return in. Single. It's good to see singles because we have seen the singles far and, well, what they say, few and far between.
That's correct. And let me correct you. I'm not taking the credit for Chadwick's 99. I was just simply saying I was part of the coaching staff.
But if you're part of the coaching staff, you should take credit because the coaches plan and the players execute. The coaches would see the weaknesses and the strengths and make recommendations to the approach. So you got to take your credit, man.
Well, he's just a wonderful player, Chadwick Walton. I don't see anyone in the Caribbean who time the ball as sweetly as him on a consistent basis.
I would challenge you on that. As here is he. Well, not him, but Griffith cutting at this one. He's been beaten by Pamal. I am seeing Evan Lewis timing the ball as sweetly.
Are you sure?
I am challenging you.
I'm not talking about power, you know. Talking about
no, I'm talking about
exquisite timing.
I am talking about both timing and power. Here is he on the pads. But I think the two, it's comparable. Griffith gets a single, plays the ball into the mid-wicket region. Curtly Ambrose is going to depart, so we can't continue that conversation. Zoel Barkley is getting ready to come in beside him. So the single takes the Jamaica score up to 97 for 1. Walton is on 68. Griffith is on 4. The reality is that the Jamaicans really let loose on the Guyanese this evening so far. They lost their first wicket after 6.1 over. This time a wide being delivered, even from all, trying to stay far from Chadwick Walton, who has really hammered the Guyanese bowling 6 sixes and 6 fours in a knock of 68 so far from 26 deliveries. Pamal this time being worked forward of the square leg umpire. They have gotten one. They will settle for one because it's Kimo Paul who sprints off the mid-wicket boundary, a single to Walton. That completes over number 8, Zorel Bartley. It has been really an excellent display of batting, particularly from Chadwick Walton, who has gone to 69. They did lose Stephen Taylor for 21. Griffith is on 4. Excellent start for the Jamaicans.
Good evening to you, Seth, and good evening to the listeners. An exceptional display of batting here this evening from Chadwick Walton. In that over from Pamal, he hit 2 shots off the back foot over the bowler's head. One went for 6 and one went for 4. And they were hit with a straight bat.
Yes.
That was exceptional of him. All evening he has been picking line, he's been picking length exceptionally well and picking it up quickly, and he's been precise with his selection. He's been timing the ball exceptionally well. It's been an awesome display this evening from Chadwick Walton.
Barnwell comes into Walton. Walton pulls this one out to mid-wicket. Fielder sprints off the boundary, just a single. So he's mixing common sense with aggression.
It's great batsmanship. There's no slugging. It is stroke. He's stroking the ball. You know, he's just judging line and length exceptionally well this evening. I have not seen him bat better.
The Jamaican 100 comes up off 49 balls.
And recently he has displayed, he had a good display in the CPL, batted well. Unfortunately, he hasn't always converted that type of form for the West Indies.
Here is Barnwell to Griffith over the bowler's head. That's 6. Lovely shot. He really gave it the full flow of the bat. It was pitched up and it came down on the front foot. And he just played with a lot of top hand. Excellent display of batting from the Jamaicans in total this evening. And Griffith is now adding to that excellent display. He moves to 10. The score moves to 106 for 1. And we're only in over number 9.
Yeah, 15 overs, shortened game this evening because of rain late start. And the Jamaicans are really off and really looking to make a big score here this evening.
Barnwell comes in this time. Griffith drives, a flowing drive out to his extra cover, but the fielder comes around off the boundary. They're coming back for the second. A wayward return, which is backed up by Paul. And 2 runs there to Griffith.
Every time I've seen Trevon Griffith bat, I just think he's a young man with so much talent. It's almost as if he wants to be taken and put into a boot camp and prepare him to play international cricket. This boy has so much ability.
Well, about 5 seasons ago, I saw both himself and Evan Lewis. I'll get back to that. Here is Christopher Barnwell to him, and he delays the shot, plays it nicely, steers it down to short third man. Shepherd comes across fields. He gets a single. The score moves to 109 for 1. Griffith to 13. And when I saw them, I said, those 2 youngsters will make the West Indies team and will do well. Lewis had a little fall off for a period that we not quite sure what happened in the Trinidad setup. Griffith was there, but he was just not stepping up the way
Just not stepping up. And over the last couple of years, he's been playing in Jamaica with the Jamaica Scorpions. And again, just seems to be there or thereabouts.
Natural players. This time, here's Walton driving. You speak about natural stroke play. Makes it look so easy on the front foot and plays the ball into the offside for the fielder at wide mid-off.
Chadwick Walton, the first time I saw him was down at the Jolly Beach in 2005 versus the touring South Africans for the UWI Vice Chancellors. Even then, you could have seen the difference with him. I know he did.
He was a young player then.
Young player. He did. I'll conclude in a minute.
This time he gets one, plays across the line, out towards the fielder who charges. It's from middle wicket. They're coming back for the second. Oh, they have beaten the throw, and this has been an excellent display of running between the wicket, because that ball was played just outside of the circle, and the fielder at cover was running in, was able to pick up, but they were able to beat the throw. At the end of over number 9, Walton is on 72 from 30. Griffith is on 13 from 9. And it's all ones on the board. 1-1, 1-for-1. Jamaica, who were sent in by Guyana.
Good common sense batting there from Chadwick Walton. A slow delivery from the bowler there. He worked it slowly into the onside, picked up 2 runs. But the point I was making about Chadwick Walton is that he is taking time over his career to also take care of his academics.
Yes,
and I think he's gone through UWI, qualified accountant, first degree in accounts. And, you know, you have to appreciate that level of commitment from someone who, with so much talent, could have decided that it was going to be all-out cricket, but he's been able to blend them both.
Here is Pramal. This time, Griffith tries to drive. The ball peels off the outer part of the bat in the air. They have gotten back. They have gotten the second one. Griffith has gotten back the strike. I am wondering why the haste for that second run when Walton would have been facing, but it was Kema Paul who was coming in. They still chance the run. Griffith looks as though he really wants to push it on.
Kema Paul has been also a favorite of mine throughout this tournament. Just looks a common sense player. That catch that he took early on was a good one too.
This time Griffith swings this one. It covers the boundary. Yes, it does. Over mid-wicket. 6 runs. Pramal has been really picked out by these batsmen, and it looks so simple to say you can't believe it's the same Pramal who would have had 3 for 8 at one stage a couple nights ago. He has really been taken for lunch by this Jamaican batting. 2.2 overs, none for 30 so far. Griffith moves to 21 from 11. This time he swings another 6. Forward of square on this occasion. What a shot! We thought that was going over mid-wicket, but he was able to just pull it across. Excellent shot from this left-hander. He moves to 27. It's 125 for 1.
Pramal is bowling left arm around to Trevon Griffith, the left-hander. He's looking to bowl across him, bowling to his 5 men in the offside. The first delivery was of a fuller length, and Griffith got under it and hit it over deep mid-wicket. The second one was shorter, and he stepped back and hit it behind, waited a little bit longer, and hit it over deep square for another big 6. Lovely wrist there by Trevon Griffith.
Very strong wrist for a very small man. He will be happy. He's really putting it in tonight. 27 from 12. Walton 72 from 30. Griffith faces Pramal and drives, pulls across the line. I thought a bit on that occasion. It was pitched outside the off stump. Instead of going through the offside, he sort of dragged it, and Shepherd at long on was able to field and send the ball back to Pramal. Only a single to Griffith.
He had the opportunity there to go over extra cover. He had the width, he had the length. He chose to drag across the line into the onside.
Here is Walton straight back past the bowler, but it looks as though Rutherford, comes around from long on, picks the ball up. Only a single to Chadwick Walton, who moves to 73. They score up to 127 for 1. As simple as this partnership is getting close to 50. The first wicket fell at 80 for 1. It was when Taylor went. And these two, in a flash, they have taken the score from 80 to 127. This partnership already realizing 47 runs. A boundary-filled, boundary-studded partnership. Here is Griffith facing up to Pramal. Swings this one backward of square into the boundary for 6. What a shot. It was just about shoes length, going down the leg side, and this young man was able to pick that up, and that looks like a very special, spectacular shot. Griffith, the 50 partnership comes up between Griffith and Walton, the 50 partnership of just 23 balls, and the Jamaicans moving up to 133, 1-3-3 for one. It's really enterprising batting. After comments from you, Zoel Bartley, Jack Matthew will tell us how the Jamaica innings end.
That last delivery was going to be a wide. It was going down the left side. It was a quick delivery from Pamal. Trevon Griffith did well to catch up with it. He used the pace and swung it over deep square. So we saw 3 sixes from him in the over. One over deep mid-wicket, cow corner area. One just behind square. And the second one more finer of square leg. But 3 big sixes from Trevon Griffith, who is quickly on to 34 or 14 deliveries. And the Jamaica scoring rate after 10 overs is 13.3, 133 for one.
Christopher Barnwell continues, and this is hammered over the top. It goes sailing over the head of the long-on fielder, Chadwick Walton, this time in full flight. And the runs continue to flow here for Jamaica. 139 for one at the start of the 11th. Smashed over long on for 6 by Chadwick Walton, who is now 79 and really going great guns. Griffith on 34. Here is Christopher Barnwell, 22 now from his 2.1 overs. And this is driven down to the deep mid-off position. The fielder at long off. Not quite on the boundary. Comes in and does the fielding. And the batsmen go for a single. We haven't seen a lot of singles. We have seen 6s and 4s raining here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium.
And I don't think Walton has hit one ball in anger. He has timed the ball so well. He's just been precise with his foot movement. Lovely flow, lovely arc with the bat coming through, and he's hitting through the line. A good pitch also this evening.
Chadwick Walton at the non-striker's end watches as Barnwell is in, and here is Griffith trying to smash the ball apparently down the ground, looking to hit it with a horizontal bat, and almost coming almost in mid-air as it were, looking to hit the ball hard and just jumping as he tried to effect the stroke. So here is the batsman facing, and he swings at this ball, hits it for 6. It was short, and he swiveled and hit it hard, and he went over the backward square leg position. The field on the boundary just watched it, and the ball has gone away for another 6. Jamaica 146 for 1. Griffith into the 40s. He's on to 40, and Walton 80.
And Griffith will be playing against guys that he would have played with all his life. Grown up with them in Guyana, now he plays for Jamaica. So obviously he would know them, they would know his weaknesses. But this evening he has come out for his adopted team, and he's really taken to his fellow countrymen. 40 off 16, he's hitting some big 6s. I think most of the 6s that we've seen here this evening from Walton and from Griffith, and even the one we saw from Taylor, have been big hits. I mean, 146 off 10.4 overs. They've really come out blasting, and I think they've taken the Guyanese by surprise.
And the run rate 13.69 now. Barnwell bowling around the wicket to the left-handed Trevon Griffith. And Griffith is heaving this one away into the onside. He has gone away for another 6. Yes, it has. So the runs are coming in 4s and 6s for Jamaica. 150 posted now. 150 of 65 deliveries. 150 of 65 deliveries. 152 for 1. And 1 ball left in the 11th over. There'll be 4 overs to come after this one. And the way they're going, it could be 200 on the board. Should be 200 on the board. Barnwell is in and turned away nicely by the left-handed Griffith down towards the deep position. A chance for a run-out. The return, I think, was a little bit off target. And Bramble was trying to trying to gather it, not being able to do so. And Griffith was back. So they hustled the second one on that occasion. We have had some 11 overs completed, and Guyana winning the toss and putting the opposition into bat maybe ruin that decision now, because Jamaica have raced to 154 for 1 with Walton on 80 from 33 deliveries, 80 from 34 deliveries, from 33 deliveries, and Trevor Griffith on 48 from 18.
Lovely cricket from that last delivery, Jack. The way he weighted that ball through the onside, looking for 2 runs, and then young Paul coming in off the deep mid-wicket boundary. The way he got to the ball, picked it up in one flash, and with the momentum of his body moving forward, in mid-air he flung that ball back to the wicket keeper. Lovely cricket all round. Good exhibition of cricket there from young Paul and from Trevor Griffith, who's really come in. And when the eyes were set on Walton, who has been going great guns all evening, 80 off 33 Walton, Ron Griffith at 48 off 18 has just dominated this partnership of 74. And with 4 overs to go, 154 on the board now, the Jamaicans are really in the ascendancy.
Well, Rutherford is back. He conceded 15 in his first over, and he starts with a wide. Signal comes from umpire Sylvester Joseph outside the line of the off stump, trying to hide the ball, and a lot of bowlers will try to do that in a situation like this because the ball has been smashed over the rope on many occasions.
But if you watch the field, Jack, there are 4 men on the boundary on the offside, a man at third man, a man at deep point, a man at cover, and a man at long off. So he's looking to bowl Yorkers wide of the off stump.
155 for 1. And it's outside the off stump, another wide. So he's going around the wicket looking to angle the ball away from the right-hander, and he's doing too much. He's pitching it too wide and called on 2 occasions. 156 for 1. We're on the ABCA Facebook page, so we're streaming as well. So followers of the game will be able to watch that. ABCA Facebook page, streaming taking place of this final in the Independence Tri-Series. And here is how beautifully played, the Dilshan scoop being executed very well by Chadwick Walton, going outside the line of the off stump and scooping the ball with the bat coming up and sending the ball over his left shoulder, and the ball going down towards the fine leg position for 4 runs. So we have seen it all in this innings by Chadwick Walton. He goes further into the 80s. He's now on to 84 from 34 deliveries. It's 160 for 1.
And he's challenging Rutherford to bowl straighter with only 3 men saving singles on the onside. The only man on the boundary on the onside is the man at long on. Lovely shot there from Walton, again picking up length and line early.
Here's he smashing this off the back foot. He goes down to the sweeper at cover, and the batsman canter a run. Chadwick Walton on to 85. 85 runs have come from 35 deliveries. 85 from 35. 161 for 1. 2 balls gone in the 12th over. There are 3 to come after this one. The game reduced to 15 over the side because of rain. Griffith on 48 comes in to strike, and those 48 runs have come just from 18 deliveries. So it has been carnage as far as the Guyanese bowlers are concerned. Rutherford 1.2, 22 off him. Barnwell has conceded 37 from 3. 44 from 3 overs bowled by Veerasamy Pramal. Rutherford bowling over the wicket to the left-hander, and he beats the bat outside the line of the off stump, and is taken by Bramble. So a rarity, ball going past the bat and taken by the wicket keeper.
Yeah, looking to run it out into the offside and trying to pick up 2 runs with 3 men on the offside between cover and third man on the boundary. Those are the only people. The only man on the offside at extra cover, the only man in the ring.
And driven down to long on. Rutherford comes off the correction. Shepherd comes off the boundary. Rutherford up to the left hand, and he stroked it nicely through the vacant mid-on position down to long on for his 49th run, and the score at 162 for 1.
And with all the rain that came today, Jack, and even into this evening, I think we're somewhat lucky and very privileged to have the type of facilities here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium that drain so well that we're able to, once the showers stopped, take the covers off, prepare and get ready for a fairly prompt start, bearing in mind the type of conditions we came here and met at 7 o'clock.
Yes, drainage excellent. Excellent drainage here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. And not only that, they pull the waters the covers off with water on it and drained it. Here is another flick. Almost the scoop, but this time was a low full toss, and he helped it away down to the fine leg position. Has gone away for 6. So Chadwick Walton in imperious form here tonight. He's into the 90s now. He's on to 91, and the score has rattled on to 168 for 1 with 1 ball left in the 12th over. So Jamaica could get to the 200 mark, and it could be a really daunting situation facing Guyana.
And once again, good batsmanship. Chadwick Walton, once Rutherford started to bowl around the wicket, he's been walking across the crease, challenging him to bowl him straighter. He bowled 2 wides outside the off stump, and then in trying to correct, has technically, basically, he's overcorrected and bowling straight and full, and he's been scooped over deep fine leg twice.
91 from 36 deliveries. Here is Rutherford in, and the batsman is driving, but doesn't get the timing into the stroke. And Rutherford bangs the ball into the adjacent pitch with utter disgust, and just walks away. That's the last ball of over number 12. 168 for 1. 168 for 1. Chadwick Walton 91 from 37 deliveries, and Trevor Griffith on 49 from 20. They came together when Stephen Taylor was caught by Paul of the bowling of Barnwell for 21, 80 for 1, and they joined forces in the 7th over of the innings, and it has been really a run feast since they met, because the ball has sailed over the boundary on several occasions. We'll get the number 4s and 6s hit by Chadwick Walton, but he got to his 50 off just 21 deliveries with 5 4s and 4 6s, and now on the fringe of a century, and looking to better his previous best in T20 cricket of 99 not out. And so Jamaica now will be looking, Zorul Bartley, to get to the 200 mark. I think that's the main target now after this tremendous start, and they're looking to finish in style, get up to that 200 mark, and put themselves in a position where they can't lose.
Well, I think the Guyanese have been shell-shocked here this evening, Jack, and it sets up the game well, because they'll have nothing to lose when they bat.
Keema Paul is in. The left-handed Griffith tries to turn it away down to the backward square position. The ball deflects away to the fine leg area, and there was a bit of bat onto it. So he got his 50. 50 of 21 balls, Griffith. 50 of 21 balls. Tremendous work. And Chadwick Walton, the captain, is now just calling him down to offer a congratulatory handshake. So it has been superlative stroke play by Trevon Griffith and Chadwick Walton. Walton on 91, Griffith 50 from 21 deliveries. Exceptional.
Yeah, very much so, Jack. But when the Guyanese come out to bat, they have the likes of Barnwell, Jonathan Fu, Rutherford himself, Bacchus at the top of the order. And with a big score, again with nothing to lose, the Guyanese have constantly maintained that they have batting down to number 10, number 11. So I'm sure that they're going to come out firing. Hopefully, for their sake, they don't lose too many early wickets, to put them under pressure. And that, we can have a really good game here this evening. A good even game on a good pitch, lovely facilities, fast outfield.
Indeed. Paul is on his way once more, and this is down the leg side, called wide by umpire Felix O'Geese. So Keema Paul straight down the leg side, and Chadwick Walton just ignoring that one. And there was Anthony Bramble skipping away to his left to take it. 170 for 1, 30 runs away from the 200 mark, and still after this over there'll be 2 to come. So from what we have seen so far, that should be achieved by Jamaica, especially if Chadwick Walton and Griffith stay out there. Here's a ball driven hard through the cover position, 4 runs. Oh, that was superbly struck by Chadwick Walton. He really put bat to ball, and the ball flashed to the boundary at cover. Walton rushes now to 95. It's 174 for 1.
Again, the footwork of Chadwick Walton. He's taken his guard at least a set of stumps outside leg, and so therefore he's exposing all the stumps, and he's asking the bowler Paul to bowl straight at the stumps. That is what he wants. He has forced a change in the field, an added man in the offside now.
Keema Paul runs into bowl to him, and Chadwick Walton is driving over the head of the third man and down to the boundary for 4. He didn't hit it where he wanted that one to go, but there was a lot of bat onto that one, and the ball went high over the head of the leaping third man fielder inside the 30-yard circle and down to the boundary for 4. Walton on 99, his highest score in T20 cricket. He has equaled. He's unbeaten on 99 and should be able to get what would be a very, very attractive 100.
I think Captain Leon Johnson has lost the plot. If he's bowling that length, a full length, he definitely needs cover on the offside, either third man or sweeping on the cover boundary. Captain Leon Johnson standing at deep mid-wicket, motionless. He is not making any adjustments. It's Christopher Barnwell who's gone up to the bowler and trying to make some adjustments.
Keema Paul strides in once more and he gets the 100, turns the ball away towards the wide long on position and gets one. So that's Chadwick Walton's 100 with played with a lot of gusto, a lot of attractive batting tonight from the Jamaican opening batsman and captain, and he lifts his bat and acknowledges the response from the crowd because it has been terrific going, timing the ball beautifully. He's 100 not out, and Jamaica 179 for 1 in the 13th.
Prior to the game, it was all set up to be a good crowd here this evening. And for those who haven't come out and for those who have stayed have certainly witnessed something exceptional, a brilliant 100 from Chadwick Walton.
Griffith now gets this one down to the fine leg position. Not sure what he was trying to do there, but the ball hit the bat and deflected away down to the fine leg area, and he got a run for it. And so the 100 partnership coming up with that single. 100 partnership of 40 balls, 100 partnership of 40 balls between Chadwick Walton and Trevor Griffith, 180 for 1. 1 ball left in the 13th. 2 overs to come after this. They're going at 14.03. That's the run rate. Oh, that's an imposing run rate as Keema Paul comes in and Chadwick Walton is driving attractively, elegantly down to long off. And the batsman amble the run, just coming nicely onto the front foot and just easing the ball away to retain the strike. It's 181 for 1. Chadwick Walton 101 from 41. Trevor Griffith, he's on 51 from 22. And 2 overs are left, 13 pounds.
Keema Paul would walk away feeling very disappointed that he would certainly feel let down by his captain, who in that over just left him to his own. Badly set field, especially when he moved a man from backward square to cover, and then there was no one covering in the offside, no sweeper, no security for young Paul, who primarily is looking to bowl Yorkers. I think he has bowled well in that he has bowled to his field, but unfortunately the field has not been well set. Captain Johnson, as I said earlier, in that over seemed to have just lost the plot and was not even offering advice, and for a period of time it was Christopher Barnwell who took over and was giving instructions and trying to assist young Paul with adjusting his field. Johnson, now in the extra cover position, seems to have come back into the game mentally, but I think he's let his team down in that last over, Captain Johnson.
It will be Shepherd who will try and do something with the ball here. The ball is taking the batsman apart. He's out, LBW. So Chadwick Walton, LBW, to Romario Shepherd, a ball well up to him, and he went for the drive, missed it, and he was struck. And the umpire, Sylvester Bouncing Joseph, raising the index finger. So a superb knock has come to an end. Chadwick Walton, LBW, to Romario Shepherd for 101, his highest score in T20 cricket. And Jamaica in a very, very good position now at 181 for 1 after 13 overs.
A full delivery delivered from around the wicket by Shepherd. Obviously would have taken him on the instep on the back foot. Umpire Sylvester Joseph gave the decision as being out. A brilliant innings from Chadwick Walton. There was not one delivery when you can say that he slugged. He was always in good position. He always kept his form. The shots he played off the left arm spinners, deep in his crease and hitting high over deep mid wicket or back over the bowler's head, were brilliant shots. A lovely innings from this young man, a very talented Chadwick Walton, whom we have seen perform like this in the just recently concluded CPL. he has certainly given his team an advantage going into this final.
Shepherd to the new batsman, Jamie Merchant, and the ball hits him on the pad and deflects towards mid-wicket. And the batsmen cross for, it seems as if a no ball has been called, and the leg by signal comes as well from umpire Sylvester Joseph. So it will be a free hit, and it will be Trevon Griffith who will face. So there was Romario Shepherd infringing that front foot rule and called by umpire Joseph a single. Well, two extras. First, the leg by and the no ball, or the no ball and the leg by. So that has carried the score on now to 183. 183 for 2. And we're into the 14th over of the innings. 1 over to come after this one. And Jamaica will be having their eyes on that 200 mark. Griffith will face this delivery, which is a free hit. Is into Griffith, and Griffith is swinging this one over the top 6 runs. Oh, he launched himself into that and hit it over the top of long on. 6 runs, pushes the score to 189. That stroke carries the score to 189 for 2. And Griffith is on to 57, hitting that one over long on for 6.
He fetched that low full toss and hit it way over long on. A powerful shot there again from Trevon Griffith.
Shepherd in to bolt him, and he gets a full toss. He swings it away down to the wide mid-wicket area. The fielder comes around. He's right, and they're back for the second. And the runs continue to flow here. 191 now. 191 in the 14th over, halfway there in terms of the over. And 1 over still to come after this one. So the 200 should come up. And they're looking to get the icing on the cake once they get up to that 100 mark. That 200 mark. As Mario Shepherd runs away from us. He's into bowl, and the Dilshan scoop is attempted, but not being able to make it. He was trying to really hit that one from almost a sitting position. He got down very, very low and was trying to heave it over the fine leg position. Fine leg fielder is inside the circle, and he would have been able to get the maximum in terms of a hit in that area had he gone over the head of the fielder or just away to his left. But he was unsuccessful. He tries it again, and this time the ball goes away, but very slowly to the fine leg fielder, and they go for leg by. So he got a pad onto that one, and Jamaica now will go on to 192. 192 for 2. 1 ball left in the 14th.
Trevon Griffith has been hitting the ball powerfully in front of him. Why would he now all of a sudden want to go into a scoop? That delivery hit for 6 was wide, low full toss that he got on and hit it over deep, long on. And then next 2 deliveries, he's trying to play the scoop. He's 26 or 59. Why not stick to what has gotten you there?
Yeah. Jamie Merchant on strike. Romario Shepherd comes around the wicket, and Merchant is driving, goes away, and it's badly missed there, and the ball will go very, very close to the boundary, and they'll come back for the second. The fielder, they're coming off the boundary at mid-wicket and taking his eyes off the ball at that critical moment. He was looking to see if they would come back for the second, and he overran the ball, and they were able to comfortably come back. So, 14 overs have been completed. It's 194 for 2. 194 for 2. 1 over to come, and the 6 runs should be able to be had in this final over. The Independence Tri-Nation Cricket Tournament final, organized by the Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Association, reduced to 15 overs because of rain. So there's 1 over to come, and Zora, they will be fancying their chances of getting the 6 runs from this last over, at least.
I think the wheels have totally gone off the Guyana team's feeling. Kimo Paul misfield that very casually. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of communication between Captain Johnson and his team. They've just moved into position without any major interest, and if this is the kind of attitude and the momentum that they're going to start their innings with, it's not a good one at all.
Kimo Paul will bowl the last over, and it swung away down to mid-wicket on the boundary, and they'll get only 1. Griffith is the beneficiary. He goes on to 60 now, and it's 195 for 2 in the match against Antigua and Barbuda. Master Blasters, he got 66 from 42 balls with 4 sixes and 3 fours. Those 4 sixes were hit off consecutive balls bowled by Kadeem Phillip, the left-arm spinner. And Griffith has continued in very much the same vein from that last match. He has powered his way to 60 from 27 deliveries and had that huge partnership with his captain Chadwick Walton, who departed for 101. We'll get the full stats on his innings in a while. And here is J.B. Merchant hitting the ball down to the extra cover position. And the fielder there, not sure if it went to him full, but they managed to scamper a run, the ball deflecting from the body of the fielder, and he had to go just a shade beyond the 30-yard circle to retrieve. So Jamie Merchant goes on to 3 from as many deliveries, and the informed Trevon Griffith comes in to strike 60 from 27, 196 for 2. 4 balls still to come. Paul, 2.2 overs, none for 20. Goes around the wicket to bowl to left-handed Griffith, and Griffith gets a Yorker, digs it out, and Kemo Paul, executing that one very, very well, runs away towards the orthodox mid-wicket position to pick the ball up. One more to the Jamaican score, 197 for 2. 3 balls left in the innings. Griffith now on to 61, and Merchant on 3 comes in to strike.
And let's hope that Trevon Griffith can use this innings and this tournament to kickstart his first-class career again. Put some energy into it and get some good scores. There's just too much talent not to continue to produce.
Paul is cut away down to the point position, and they get a single, 198 for 2. So 2 balls are left in the innings. So it will be a total in the vicinity of 200, I would imagine, unless we have 2 dot balls, which would be very, very unusual. With Griffith on strike, he's on 61 from 28.
And practicing the scoop, Griffith is. So he's obviously intent on getting off one of those scoops before the end of the innings.
See what happens. Kemo Paul runs into bowl him, and he's swinging at this ball, gets it away towards the square leg region. Mid-wicket runs around, and they come back for the second. The 100, the 200 posted. 200 on the board now for Jamaica. 200 for 2 with 1 ball left in the innings. 14.5 overs, 200 for 2. Griffith 63 not out.
A brilliant innings here by the Jamaicans. 200 of just under 15 overs. 200 in any T20 game is a big score.
And I have to say 15 overs a side game. 13.48 is the rate. And he finishes it with a 6. Oh, beautifully played. Wonderful execution by Griffith. He ends the innings with a 6 over wide mid-wicket. A ball from Kemo Paul, which he got under and hit it hard and even posed for the camera at the end. So Griffith unbeaten on 69. Griffith undefeated. 206 for 2 from their 15 overs. It means Jamaica have set Guyana 207 to win. And the rate they operated, 13.73. And really, that is already daunting. And Jamaica would be very, very happy with that performance. Conversely, the Guyanese would be very, very unhappy with what has transpired out in the middle. It's going to take some getting, but in T20 cricket, anything really happens. And so the Guyanese, they have nothing to lose. They will be going full throttle trying to overtake this score. But Jamaica very much in the ascendancy. And anyone would believe that Jamaica would be the ones finishing on top here tonight, unless we see a repeat of what happened in the Jamaica innings when Guyana come out to bat.
A deflated Guyana's team has just left the field, having given up 206 of 15 overs. They have a huge task in front of them, but let's take nothing at all away from the batting of the Jamaican team. Led by Captain Chadwick Walton, his batsmanship, his footwork, his knowledge of the game, his just knowing where the fielders were and making precise decisions. A brilliant display of batsmanship from him. Followed up by Trevon Griffith. Power hitting from such a small man. This Vivian Richards Stadium is not a small ground, but the sixes that were hit this evening were some big sixes. Most of them landed well beyond what looks like about a 70-yard, 75 in some areas, 75 feet boundaries. 206, well played Jamaica. The game is set up now for the Guyanese to come and reply, and with nothing to lose, let's hope that they can come out and really go after this big total.
And that's what the fans here. We don't have a big crowd, I believe, because of the rain and the delayed start to the match. But those who are here would want to see a very good reply by Guyana to this massive score of 206. 206 for 2 of 15 overs. And the Guyana will need 207 to win the match. We'll go through the details of the innings. Jamaica put into bat by the Guyanese. Started with Chadwick Walton, the captain, and Stephen Taylor. And Taylor was the first to go. He was caught by Kemo Paul off the bowling of Christopher Barnwell for 21, made of 15 deliveries. And he departed when the score was on 80 at the start of the 7th over. Then Chadwick Walton was LBW to Romario Shepherd for 101, made of just 42 deliveries. We get the number of 4s and 6s hit by Chadwick Walton. Trevor Griffith was not out on 69 from 30, 69 from 30, and Jamie Merchant unbeaten on 4. 206 for 2 of 15 overs. Extras 11, 1 leg by, 8 wide, and 2 no balls. 11 extras in the match, in the innings of 206 for 2. The bowling for Guyana: Sherfin Rutherford, 2 overs, none for 29. Romario Shepherd, 3 overs, 1 for 44. 1 for 44 from 3. Shepherd. Kemo Paul, 3 overs, none for 30. Virasamy Pamal, 3 overs, none for 44. Ricardo Adams, 1 over for 21 runs. And Christopher Barnwell, 3 overs, 1 for 37. Figures the Guyanese would like to forget, and they'll be hoping that they will be able to dish out some of the onslaught that they saw early on from the Jamaicans.
Yes, definitely. Not a good bowling display. Shepherd has been leading this bowling attack throughout the tournament. He went for 44 from 3. Just didn't seem to get into rhythm this evening. Bowled a bit too short, taken to pieces early on by Chadwick Walton, and just never recovered when he came back for that last over. Kemo Paul, there or thereabouts, seemed to have a lack of misunderstanding between him and the captain and the field setting. And when he came back towards the end bowling those Yorkers, just didn't have the feeling support. And the batsmen by then were on the go. The left-arm spinners, Adams and Pamal, were taken to task, primarily by Chadwick Walton. Hit them for some big 6s over the onside. Hit them for, Pamal in particular, hit him for 2 lovely shots back over his head. To deliveries, which were just short of a length, not necessarily short deliveries, but such was the form of Chadwick Walton this evening.
Yes, and he batted very, very well. He was timing the ball from the get-go. He looked to be very, very impressive at the start of the innings, and he continued with that momentum. He was imperious in his batting performance tonight, and has put his side in a position where they should be able to go on and win the match. 206 for 2 of 15 overs. Even off 20 overs, it would have been a very, very substantial total by Jamaica. And they should be able to defend this 206 for 2 of 15. Someone from the Guyanese batting lineup, or maybe more than one, because there were 2 principal scorers in the Jamaican innings. Chadwick Walton 101 and Trevor Griffith 69. Those were the main scorers for the Jamaicans. So the situation is that we will have a break and come back in a short while for the start of the Guyanese innings. They need 207 to win the match. So we'll take it back to the studio for a short while and come back with more coverage of the ABCA Tri-Nation Independence Cricket Tournament.
cricket strokes.
Precisely.
Didn't they watch the way Chadwick Walton and Griffith batted?
That's
I
right.
mean, they
Pure
played
cricket stroke.
Pure cricket stroke and got the runs. They're running down the wicket, they kept missing, they're backing away.
Here is Lamont. Did not deliver. He was coming into Bacchus. Decides not to bowl. Dead ball signal by umpire Joseph. You're right. Those shots were excellent cricket shots. And the Guyanese, on the other hand, this one is down the leg side. Wide signal by the umpire. So they have gotten a few extras. In fact, they have already gotten 9 extras. So almost 1/3 of the runs would have been scored via extras so far. 28 for 2. Lamont comes in once again. Bacchus swings this one out towards the fielder at the mid-wicket area, but it's over his head. It's 6 runs. So Bacchus gets off the mark with a 6 and pushes the Guyana score up to 34 for 2.
That's what they got to do. Just stay the ground, play proper cricket shots. The balls will come away, they can be hit. There's no point backing away and they keep missing, running down the track and all that stuff. Stay your crease and play good cricket shots.
Lamont comes in once again to Bacchus. Bacchus swings across the line. He's trying to sweep on one knee. Did connect with the ball, but not the way he would have liked. And the ball just went to the field at the short back of the square position. Single takes him up to 7 and the score up to 35 for 2 in over number 4. So this partnership realizing 17 runs so far. And these two would really need to push Guyana further after they lost Paul and Rutherford, the openers, for 8 and 10 respectively. Lamont 1 for 18. 1.2 overs so far being bowled by the left-arm orthodox bowler. Comes into Jonathan Fu. Fu goes back. Misses completely. Jonathan Fu, I think he has faced about 7 deliveries. And I'm not sure. He has only gotten 1 run. I'm not sure he has touched more than the 1 that he got that came down to third man. Here is swinging on this occasion, not connecting at all, trying to slug and not play, as you say, approved cricket strokes, but got it into the short mid-wicket region. Salmon coming off the boundary fields. The single to 4 takes him to 2 and the score up to 36 for 2 as the field changes over to accommodate the left-hander Robin Bacchus.
I really don't understand what Fu is thinking at this point.
Here is Lamont to, another dot ball as Bacchus tried to swing across the line of a delivery that was pitched outside off and going further away. The offside field is well packed with the backward point, a wide third man, cover point and an extra cover all on at the edge of the circle and also mid-off. Here is he going, swinging this one out towards mid-wicket. The fielder comes around, does very good work, and only a single to Bacchus. Bacchus moves to 8 and the score up to 37 for 2. At the end of over number 4, they're going at just about 9.25 runs per over, and the required rate is over 15.
15.45 and keep climbing. But this is not the way you're going to get to that 207. Keep missing 3-4 deliveries every over, maybe a boundary, is never going to work. And for some reason, I'm not so sure what the plan is. Of course, the plan is to attack, but they're not attacking with any proper thought, and that is a problem here.
So we see a bowling change after the 1 over. Smith has been replaced by Walters. So Walters is going to have his first bowl. Walters will come into Bacchus. Let's see there. Looking at their field, there is a wide third man inside the circle, a backward point also inside the circle. Cover, an extra cover, a deep mid-off. Here is Walters. This time he swings at that. The ball goes over the field at third man's head, goes into the boundary and beats the diving effort of the fielder running back. 4 runs to Bacchus. Bacchus moves to 12. The score up to 41 for 2. And
very good attempt, by the fielder, but it was all in vain. And Bacchus continued to live dangerously.
Bacchus was, in fact, in a similar situation the previous over, but at least he was able to get a 6. And I am not quite sure you mentioned about the Guyana plan, because they changed their original plan entirely. Here is This one being pulled out to mid-wicket. Salmon is coming around. They have gotten one. They will come back for the second. A bit of misfeeling on the part of Salmon. However, he fires his return in, and the 2 runs take Bacchus up to 14 and the score up to 43 for 2. But what we saw, they did not stick to the original plan. Barnwell was an option, but they chose between Rutherford. And here is he pulling at this one and missed it completely. The ball striking the keeper on the pad and going for Smith in the short third man position, who fired the return in. Was it a leg by? No, it seems as though it's a run, because I didn't see any signal coming from the umpire.
No, there was no signal.
So the run is credited to Bacchus. So Bacchus moves to 15 and 44 for 2. So after making those changes, it still comes back down to 4 and Bacchus. Here is Walters, 2-4-4. Pulls this one out to mid-wicket, not really getting hold of it the way he would have liked. Played it uppishly, but it was not really a lot of power and timing. And the fielder coming off the mid-wicket boundary was able to come in and actually restrict them just to a single. So 4 moves to 3. Bacchus, who is on 15, will face up to Walters. So Jamaica scoring a towering 206 or 15 overs. Here is Walters. This time he hits this one in the air. He will be out caught. The fielder goes and takes it rather easily. And Guyana losing wicket number 3. Bacchus caught in the deep, trying to put pressure on the Jamaican bowler, but it was Walters who would have the last laugh. He was not in control. The ball may have gotten the toe end of the bat, and a good catch, well-judged catch by the fielder on the long-on boundary, who is in fact a substitute fielder. Guyana, they're definitely on the decline here. 45 for 3 to have lost 3 wickets within the first 5 overs, and you're only going at 9 runs per over when the required rate at the start was 14.5. This is really a disastrous start for the Guyanese.
Certainly. And they're never going to be in this game. I know this is the fifth delivery of the 5th over. So there's another 10 over to go and 1 ball. And they're never going to get anywhere close. Just from the body language at the end of the Jamaican innings, you readily realize that they're not confident. They figure it's too many runs, they're not going to ever get it. And the way they're playing, I mean, still 10 overs to go set, anything can happen, but I'm a bit of a realist, and they will even get close.
So Christopher Barnwell, the former captain, is coming. We're yet to see the captain, Leon Johnson, who would have usually come at number 3. So they have totally rearranged the order, but the rearrangement is not really working because they have been losing wickets in a flurry. This time here is Fu trying to work this one into the fine leg region. Well stopped by the fielder coming around. That completes over number 5. Guyana replying to 206 made by Jamaica. They're 45 for 3. 4 is on 3. Barnwell is yet to score after coming from me. Curtly ambushed Jack Matthew will continue the ball-by-ball action.
Guyana at the moment are in serious trouble. They just can't seem to find a way to dig themselves out of this hole. And they really have no answer so far to the Jamaicans. And the required rate now is over 16 runs and over, getting higher and higher. And that's the way they don't want to go. They want it to decrease. But at the moment it's increasing, and they keep losing wickets as well. And Guyana not looking like they're going to even give this a good go. Jack Matthew, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Sir Curtly. Yes, it's going to be very, very difficult for Guyana. They needed to have a flying start with wickets in hand, but they've lost wickets and the runs are not coming. Now the rate is beyond 16. Outside the off stump, and Barnwell is cutting at it, gets it away towards the deep cover position, and only 1 for him. So he's off the mark with a single. Fu, who has been rendered virtually scoreless since his entry, is on 3 from 8 deliveries. Unable to repeat the exploits shown against Antigua and Barbuda, the Master Blasters. He gets another single as he mistimes a pull, ball going down towards the mid-on position within the 30-yard circle, and Lamont runs back to retrieve the ball. 1 more to Guyana. They're 47 for 3 Asking rate climbing beyond 16.5 now. They're scoring at a very miserly 8.81 in the context of the match. This one is hit mightily over the top. Great shot by Christopher Barnwell. Oh, that was a lot of effort into it, and it must have hit the building away to our left. It was hit very, very hard by Barnwell for 6. He's 7, and the guy in 50 coming up, 53 for 3.
He's that kind of player, Christopher Barnwell. He's a powerful man, could hit the ball extremely hard, and Guyana certainly need him.
Christopher Lamont, the left arm spin is in, and he's back. The ball hustles onto him, and the man at that slip position cannot make the save. That's Chadwick Walton. Difficulty in stopping the ball, and they go through for a leg by. But he was certainly beaten by that delivery. It was a faster, flatter delivery from Christopher Lamont, and Barnwell was deceived. He's on 7. Fu comes in to strike. He's on 4 from 9. And he's swinging at this ball, gets it hard down to long on, only 1. They need 4s and 6s, and they will need them at this time. They need the 4s and 6s now. They need to rein them in from now. This ball is a good one, and the batsman goes back and cuts it away down to the point, backward point area. Christopher Barnwell gets a single. Not given the room to execute on that occasion. It was again fast and flat from Christopher Lamont, and he could only squeeze it away down to backward point for a single. So we have had 6 overs completed. They need to score 207 to win the match. They are, at the moment, on 56 for 3, and now runs required 151 more from 9 overs. 151 runs required from 54 balls, and that's going to take some hitting. The batsmen out so far for Guyana. Kemo Paul, who was promoted to opener, was bowled by Salmon for 8 for 1 in the first over. Then Sherfane Rutherford was caught wicketkeeper tail off the bowling of Christopher Lamont for 10, 18 for 2 in the second. And then Robin Bacchus was caught by the substitute at long on off the bowling of O'Shane Walters for 15, 45 for 3 when he departed. Now it's Walters, 1 for 8 from his first over, turned away in the vicinity of mid-wicket. They won't get a second. The field is onto the boundary, just about 10 yards outside the 30-yard circle, and he lobs the return to Walters, who goes back to the top of his mark. In contrast, when Jamaica batted, the run feast was led by Chadwick Walton, the captain, and Trevon Griffith. Here is O'Shane Walters, and the batsman is beaten. The wicketkeeper, Stephen Taylor, had the bails off in a flash, but the back foot of Jonathan Fu was grounded. In all, there were 11 4s and 16 6s in the Jamaica innings of 206 for 2 off their 15 overs. 11 4s and 16 6s. Chadwick Walton made 101, his highest score in T20 cricket, eclipsing his 99 not out. O'Shane Walters is in, and Fu is hitting this ball in the air. The fielder at cover will take the catch. He does, and the misery for Jonathan Fu has come to an end. He has been caught at cover trying to hit the ball over the top. It skied to the extra cover position, and the dolly catch was taken. The fielder just waited on it. That's the fielder at that extra cover position. And Walters has picked up his second wicket with Jonathan Fu caught for 5. It's 57 for 4. Guyana, they need a daunting 207 to win.
As you quite rightly mentioned, Jack, the misery of Jonathan Fu has ended, and I think it's safe for us to say that it's all over for Guyana. I can't see them coming back from this position. 57 for 4. It's if it's not impossible, it's pretty close to it. I can't see them coming back from here, really. I mean, with Captain Leon Johnson to come and all that, and we know he's no dasher, so they're going to rely heavily on Christopher Barnwell to get them out of his hole, but I can't see it happening.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult, especially when you have to score at 17.65, and the asking rate is climbing by the minute. Every ball that is bowled is going to climb if they don't score 4s or 6s. It's going to climb, and that's what has been happening for most of the innings so far. The ball is whipped away off his legs by Barnwell for a single, and they will need a lot more than that. The singles and the twos, they don't matter now. They need sixes and fours if they're going to present a late challenge here, but the odds are stacked heavily against them. 58 for 4 is the score for Guyana, chasing 207 to win the match. Shane Walters is the man in operation. He's bowling from the far end, and the ball is leaving the bat in the air. Chance for a run out. The ball misses the stumps at the bowler's end as the new batsman, Bramble, rushes down to that bowler's end. So no harm done. He got a single for it. He's off the mark. He's on 1. Barnwell on 10 comes into strike. 10 from 6. And the Walters will continue. So Chadwick Walton on 101 of 42 deliveries. This ball is driven hard down to the long off position along the ground. And Barnwell gets another run. And that was the last ball of over number 7. So we've had 7 overs completed. Guyana are 60 for 4. 60 for 4 of 7 with 11 to Christopher Barnwell of 7 deliveries and Bramble on 1 from 1. Back to Chadwick Walton, 42 balls for his 101, 9 fours and 8 sixes, 9 fours and 8 sixes in that 101. And Trevon Griffith, 69 not out, 30 balls, 8 sixes. He did not hit a 4, 8 sixes, 6 in that 69 made of just 30 deliveries.
2 very, very good innings, and that made the difference. That is why Jamaica got to 206, because of those 2 innings. They really, really played well, Chadwick Walton, and it pleases me, Jack, because he was at the top of the order, and that's something I've been calling for at the start of his tournament, and he hasn't disappointed, and they really played a wonderful knock.
So Christopher Lamont is in, and this is hit over the top, 6 runs. Christopher Barnwell launching himself into that drive, and the ball has gone away over the wide mid-wicket position. 6 runs to Barnwell, and he will be the man who will have to play the innings we saw from Chadwick Walton if Guyana are to have a chance here, because he has the ability to do that, to really hit the ball over the top, and that was a beautifully struck 6. 11 he is now, and here is the ball, which is cut away. I think he's more than 11. Yes, he should be more than 11. So the score has pushed on. Lamont is the ball operating from the commentary box end. He's in the course of his... this ball is outside the line of the off-stump and cut away down to third man, 4 runs. Christopher Barnwell getting a 6, and now he has hit a 4 in his innings. And the score has rushed on. It is now 66 for 4. 66 for 4. So J.B. Merchant is the man who is in operation from the commentary box end, because Lamont would have already bowled his quota of 3 overs. And so we're just making sure that all is well. The scorers, Samantha Frank, just making sure that she has all the particulars in place with respect to the scoring, because it can be a challenge. Here is J.B. Merchant is in. This is hit high over the top, 6 runs. Oh, that's a hefty blow by Christopher Barnwell. He really smashed that over long on. Hit with ferocious power. And the ball smacked against the wall away to our right. So Barnwell is in full flight here. He's on to 27 from 13 deliveries. And the score has pushed on very, very quickly up to 76. 76 for 4 in the 8th over.
Yes, Christopher Barnwell, has been known to be a powerful hitter of the cricket ball. And Guyana definitely will have to rely on him, to dig them out of this deep hole and to get them in somewhere close to that 207 that's required. Of course, I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think they can do that. But you never know in cricket.
17.86, the asking rate. They're going at 9.91. Cut away. And he's out caught. So he's caught at the wicket, going for the cut shot, and not being able to get hold of it. The ball edged and into the gloves of the wicketkeeper. And another wicket goes down. The dangerous Christopher Barnwell walks back, caught at the wicket by Stephen Taylor of the bowling of Fabian Allen. and he has gone for 27, and he's now 76 for 5, and could be the last hope going with the departure of Christopher Barnwell.
I certainly agree with you, Jack. We just mentioned that he's one guy who could, make a push for the score that they're chasing, and he's gone. And with him goes Guyana's hope as well. And I can't see Sammy Pamal and Captain Leon Johnson and the others to come really going to get them anywhere near the total. So it's fair to say that it's all over for Guyana, and Jamaica will be the new champion of the pre-independence T20 tournament.
They were runners-up last year. They went into that final against Antigua and Barbuda very much confident. They were buoyant because they were unbeaten in the preliminaries and odds-on favorites to win that match. But stunningly, Antigua and Barbuda won that. So they would have come here looking to avenge that defeat. They managed to win one of the matches against Antigua and Barbuda, lost the first one. But they got to the final, and it has been so far a very, very good final for them, because they posted an unlikely 206 of 15 overs. And that certainly battered Guyana out of the game. Guyana had to reply in sensational fashion, but we haven't seen that. And they're struggling at the moment. The ball is turned away towards the square leg position. The fine leg runs around, and the batsman crossed for only one. So 2 new batsmen at the crease. Bramble and Ricardo Adams has joined him. And both batsmen on 1. And it's 77 for 5. And we have had 8 overs completed. So there's 7 overs to come. And we could well see a situation where a T20 match, it's reduced to 15 overs a side, being reduced to fast later on, because it's going to be very, very demanding for the batters to come. The asking rate is climbing. It's heading towards 20 at the moment. It's 18.57 as Earl Bartley, the former West Indies under-19 captain, comes alongside me. And it's getting increasingly difficult for them. And we may have a situation where later on we'll just be seeing the players just batting out the rest of the overs.
Well, it was always a challenging ask for the Guyanese, trying to get to 206. And the way the Jamaicans started, picked up early wickets from as early as the first over, put the pressure on that.
Well, Shane Walters is in, and it's hammered away, and he's going to be caught. I think he is. Yes, he is. So he's caught on the boundary at mid-wicket. It looks to be Salmon who came in and took that catch. It was in the air for a long time, and he came in and a little bit away to his left. So Salmon has picked up a catch, and Ricardo Adams goes back, caught Salmon off the bowling of Shane Walters for 1. And the Guyana innings is faltering badly now. They're 77 for 6. It is falling to pieces. 77 for 6, faced with this monumental task of scoring 207 to win the match in 15 overs. And in their pursuit, they've made some errors, because they needed to go at virtually every ball, and they haven't been able to execute at all during the course of the innings. And so the innings is dismantling at the moment. They're 76 for 6, or 77 for 6. And we're in the course of the 9th over. Only 15 overs they'll bat, because the game has been reduced to 15 overs a side game because of the late start due to rain. 77 for 6 then at the start of the 9th over, with the batsman dismissed, Ricardo Adams, caught by Salmon off the bowling of Shane Walters. And Walters continues. This is driven by Bramble. Gajan Singh has joined him, and Bramble gets a run by hitting the ball down towards the long-on position for a single.
Yeah, it was always a big ask. They came out and lost wickets early. They opened with Paul to try and change up things and to give him the power play to get going. Hit 1-6, and then he was out before the end of the first over. I think they came off the field a disgruntled grump and not a unified force at all.
Gajan Singh gets it down to third man. A chance for a run out. The return comes in towards the base of the stumps, and the wicket-keeper, Stephen Taylor, had the bails off, but the batsman, Bramble, was home, quickly taking single. But they need more than singles now. They need boundaries, and those haven't been forthcoming at all for Guyana.
Like I said, the communication while they fielded those last 10 overs or so, 7 to 8 overs, when Chadwick Walton ran right around them, and Captain Leon Johnson basically gave up the ghost.
In the 9th over, ball is hit in the air, down towards the long-on position. Will it go beyond the rope? Yes, it does. 6 runs. Anthony Bramble, he can hit the ball hard and to some distance as well. And he launched himself into that drive of the bowling of Walters, got it over the top for 6.
Yeah, back of a length delivery, went through with it, swung hard, took the top portion of the bat, but went straight. Good hit in the end.
Walters in once more, and he is looking to repeat it. Gets it towards mid-wicket this time, on the bounce to the fielder, on the boundary. Only 1 to Bramble, and he's showing some disgust as he runs to the non-striker's end. Felt he had a chance to repeat a boundary, repeat a 6 of that delivery. Not being able to get it away from the fielder. Only a single for him. So he's on to 8 with that stroke. The scoreboard is, here is a chance for catch, and Gajanan Singh is out. He's caught by the fielder there at the short third man position, looking to get it over the top, and not being able to get it away from the fielder, and the catch was easily taken. So Singh has been caught of the bowling of Walters, and Guyana sinking more into the quagmire, sinking further into the quagmire. They are now 88, it looks like, 88 for 7. The scoreboard is showing 86, in fact, for 7, and we have had 9 overs completed.
And Walters has taken 3 for 21 off 3 overs. But Jackie, it would be remiss of me not to mention, though, the concern that we've had from the start of the tournament with regards to some suspect bowling actions that we've seen. Walters is certainly one of those. Salmon is another. We saw Atenes from the Antigua team. And I'm saying, if at this level, on the backup strength of the first-class teams, it is definitely cause for concern. It means that remedial work has to be done, and these players have got to be identified earlier and get that work in, because it certainly doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good. Certainly, I saw Walters warming up, and it was clear that his elbow wasn't straight. And we know that there is a permissible 15 degrees in today's game. Hit high over the top. It's going towards the boundary. We'll get there. A few bounces over the rope. 4 runs to the batsman Bramble. And so Bramble is on 2. Well, they've mixed up his score. I think the scoreboard has it wrong in terms of the contribution of Bramble, because he's the man who's been hitting the ball. And I think they gave some of the runs that Bramble hit to Singh, while Singh was there with Bramble. So they will need to correct that. I don't think Singh got 8. The scoreboard showed that he got 8, but I think that was an error. Ball is swung away down to square leg, 4 runs. Bramble again showing his worth, smashing that ball away, playing through the line of that delivery from Fabian Allen, the left-arm spinner. And they went quickly away towards the mid-wicket, towards the square leg position for 4 runs. Now 21 runs have come off 1.1 overs bowled by Fabian Allen. So he has been expensive. Bowling from the commentary box in. Just to go back to the point about the deliveries and the suspect bowling actions by some of the players. He's swinging at this ball, doesn't get hold of it. A chance for a run out at the bowler's end. He makes it home. That was Bramble trying to swing it for another boundary, not being able to get hold of it, and the ball out towards the mid-wicket position. Yes, increasingly we see players now coming into the game, not only here in the Caribbean, but in other territories, with these suspect bowling actions. And you wonder, well, why all of a sudden this is taking place. And we know about the 15 degrees that is permitted by the ICC. But clearly, as you said, some attention must be paid to them early in their career to stop this. Played away into the offside for single, and the score just inches on here onto 94-7.
And what we've seen it with is primarily those who were previously considered off-spinners, because the classical off-spin bowling has gone out of the game. The Dusra has come in, And so in trying to bowl the Dusra, we saw it later on from early, Saklin, Mushtaq, etc. And so everyone who now bowls right arm slow tries to do something extra.
Fabian Allen is in, hit mightily over the top. Will it go beyond the field? He drops it. And that seems to be Pete Salmon who has dropped it. Yes, he has. It went straight down his throat at that deep straight mid-wicket position. Looked to have had it all sewn up, and the ball fell from his grasp. So a chance to the batsman, and with that chance, the score has gone on here to 97 for 7.
I find it difficult to explain how he dropped that.
Yes,
Jack. He settled under it. He was so comfortable, so casual, and just seemed to pan it right down.
So here is I think he has missed that one, looking to play the reverse sweep, and the ball hitting the pad and going into the offside. So the situation is we have had 10 overs completed, and Guyana needing 207 to win. They're 97 for 7. The game is just about over. It's going to take something miraculous, and I don't think we're going to see any miracles here tonight with respect to this game. So it's 97 for 7, 5 overs to come. More from Zorel Bartley, and then to take it to the end, it will be Seth Burton.
Well, Guyana had been totally battered out of this game. 206 of 15 overs by the Jamaican team when they batted. Captain Shadrick Walton scoring a brilliant 100. Trevon Griffith backing up with 69 not out and 30 deliveries. Some big sixes being hit this evening. Now the required run rate is 22 and over with 5 overs to go. Doesn't look as if the Guyana team is going to challenge that. They're 97 for 7 off 10 overs. So despite all the shouting, I think this game is already sewn up and we would want to call Jamaica as champions.
Well, certainly. It's just a matter of time. As here is this cracking shot. One bounce into the boundary for 4. Just outside the off stump, and he really smashed it. There was a man on the third man boundary. There was someone at backward point on the, to his right, and neither really could have moved. That one crashed across the ropes for 4.
And as if he wants to prove us wrong, Bramble has decided that he's going to go after this bowling. Short delivery outside the off stump. He got under it. Didn't try to keep it down at all. Got under the ball, hit it over the man at point. Almost went for 6.
Yes, I was watching for that. The 100 comes up for Guyana. Smith comes in once again to Bramble. Bramble pulls at that. This one goes over the keeper's head, for 6. So things are happening, even though we have counted out the Guyanese. 6 runs. He was shaping to pull. The ball got on him a bit quicker than he thought. He still went through with the shot. The ball may have taken the toe end of the bat, and it lobbed over the keeper's head. Dropped just in front of us. 6 runs, and Bramble is not giving up the fight, even though the Guyanese require 21 runs for over. They move to 107 for 7. Bramble is on 28, and I said they would lose by about 50 runs. Now they're 100 runs adrift with just 4 overs remaining. Can they get another 50 runs at least?
Yeah,
to let it look competitive.
He was beaten for pace there. And Smith, except for Alzari Joseph, whom we saw early on in the tournament, Smith has probably been one of the quicker bowlers on show.
Yes, certainly.
Shepherd has been impressive, not necessarily with pace, more with guile and control, but Smith has been fairly quick.
Here is Smith. Comes into Bramble. Bramble plays this one. Lovely shot, but it's still in the air. He will be out. Oh, no, 4 runs. It's all happening. At first, it looked, Zorel, as though it was heading to the long off boundary. But then it held up. The fielder was running back. The ball fell between him and the boundary. Ended up in the boundary across the ropes for 4. At one point, it looked as though the fielder was wrong-footed, trying to stop it. But Bramble has scored 14 runs of the last 3 balls. He moves up to 32 from 11. And the Guyana scored up to 111 for 7. So an interesting over here. They have Stuck with the long off being in. Here is Bramble pulling this one. It takes the toe end of the bat, but the mid-wicket fielder, Walters, comes off the boundary. He was not in full control, more bottom hand than anything else, and hitting the ball in the air. He gets a single, moves to 33 and the score up to 112 for 7. And Bramble is trying to at least show that there is still fight left in the Guyana team after they would have really lost their top order in an ordinary manner. Kimo Paul, the first to have gone bowl by Salmon for 8 and then we had 8 for 1. Then there was Rutherford, who was caught wicketkeeper tail off the bowling of Lamont for 10 at 18 for 2. Then the wickets tumbled 4. We break as Leon Johnson, the Guyana captain, taps his bat, but Smith is not ready. Then they kept losing wicket frequently. Backus, he was third to go, caught by the substitute of the bowling of Walters for 15 at 45 for 3. Then Jonathan Fu, he really was taken out of misery, caught Walton off the bowling of Walters for 5 at 57 for 4. Smith comes into Johnson. Johnson stabs it back up on the offside. Smith following through fields, and there is no run. And then they had Barnwell, who came in and really was enterprising, played a quick enterprising knock of 27 before he was caught wicketkeeper Taylor off the bowling of Allen for 27. It was 76 for 5. Here is Smith, comes into Johnson. Johnson was backing away. A good bit of fielding and knocking it down was Smith on that occasion, parrying the ball into the offside, and there was no run. Then we had Adams, who joined the fray, caught off the bowling of Lamont for 1. It was 77 for 6. And then we had Singh, caught Lamont off the bowling of Walters for 1. With the score on 86, it was 86 for 7. And since then, these two have been batting, and Bramble has been trying to take the bull by the horn.
Yeah, 12 balls, 33 runs from Bramble. He's been ultra aggressive. He's been lucky on a couple of occasions. On others, he has hit it cleanly. Captain Johnson has come out and, just once again, his body language is not saying much. He has given up. I think he did that since they were fielding. I think he deserted his team as the captain. He placed himself at the deep mid-wicket position and allowed young Keno Paul, left him with no guidance as such when he was being attacked by the Jamaica batsmen. Unfortunate for the Guyana team, but 113, 4 overs to go, 94 runs to get.
Virtually impossible. This time he will be out caught. He's taken. It was Johnson once again. He has really been lost all night. He was trying a reverse sweep, and when he switched to the right side, there was a fielder at short third man and one at what would have been backward point for the left-hander, and he just lobbed it up, giving an easy catch to Smith. Salmon getting his second wicket. Johnson going to the Guyana captain, not really putting his hand up at any time, whether his team was in the field or as a batsman coming in at number 9. I think it speaks volume about Guyana giving up.
Unfortunate for someone of Johnson's ability, who has been around West Indies cricket for such a long time. Much was expected of him as a major regional player, developing into an international player. Got an early break into the West Indies team. Never really cemented his place. Was brought back last year. Still didn't do so. And unfortunately, just seems to be a career that's going to fade away. Others will come and others will pass him. And when the Guyana team was looking for leadership from Johnson this evening, they certainly didn't get any. That's unfortunate.
So Salmon is sitting on a hat-trick. He did get the wicket of Paul in the first over with the last ball of that over. And then he has taken the wicket of Johnson now with the first. So here is he coming into, this one is played by Shepherd into the boundary for 4. Bramble, that looks good. That was straight. Salmon was unable to get the hat-trick, but Bramble mounting up into the 30s. He moved, further in the 30s, moves to 37, and he looks, at least along with Barnwell, 2 players who have the capacity and really wanted it, playing good cricket shot.
Yeah, good shot there, straight down the pitch. past the bowler's right hand, past Longon's left hand for 4. Good shot.
So Bramble faces Salmon once again. The score moves up to 117. Oh, a good one. Pitch right, a Yorker length delivery. You can't say he's a spinner. He shapes as a spinner, but as you said, that questionable action oftentimes is very difficult for the batsman when they get it up with the extra pace and in the block hole. But Bramble at least showed some skill. He was able to dig it out and get a single coming down to long on. So Bramble moves to 38. The Guyana score up to 118 for 8. We're in the 12th over, halfway through the 12th. They are 89 runs adrift of the total. Here is Shepherd this time, hitting this one down to the fielder who comes off the long off boundary, sends the return in, lobs it into Salmon, and Shepherd, who gets off the mark, will be at the non-striker's end as the score moves to 119 for 8. But what do you see? Is it, you comment later on the Johnson issue, is it that players who get it too early, too soon, oftentimes fail to deliver? Here is this one being swung out between the long on and the mid-wicket fielder into the boundary for 4. Well struck by Bramble.
Yeah, good shot there. He swung across it, opened up, left leg going, outside leg stump, swung across the line, beat the man at deep mid-wicket and the man at long on, in between them both for another 4. Good, strong, powerful hit there from Bramble.
So Bramble faces up again, moves to 42 from 15. This is a good innings, in spite of the shambles that we have seen in the Guyanese batting. Here is he faces up to Salmon. This time he gets one, steers it out to between backward point and third man. Fielder coming across, that's Walton. Picks it up, a single to Bramble. Bramble moves to 43. The Guyana replied to the 206 for 2 made by Jamaica. 124 for 8 after 12 overs. Would you say they would have regret the decision of putting the Jamaicans into bat?
Probably in the end, they probably did that because of the rain that was around, and unfortunately they were batted out of the game. Just though by extension, though, set with Antigua Barbuda getting into the countdown of independence, or 36th year of independence. Kudos ought to go out to the Antigua Barbuda Cricket Association for coming up with the second edition of this tournament. It has certainly gone well. The conditions have been superb. I think the pitch, and that pitch in particular, they've played on more often than not. The pitches here have been good. The outfield has been good. The crowd support maybe could have been better, especially in the preliminary games. I think it was set up for a good crowd this evening, but unfortunately the rains came.
Here is this one being driven out towards long off. Salmon comes off the boundary, fields on the bounce. Bramble gets a single, but truly, yes, it is deserving of credit for the Antigua Barbuda Cricket Association, also the ground staff, because Anthony Merrick and his team, when we thought that this game may not have played tonight, they really got it well, got the pitch rolled, and then it was an excellent pitch for the highest score in the tournament in what turned out to be a 15-over affair. Shepherd misses this one, trying to drive through the line. Williams just held the line a bit outside the off stump and going further away.
But as we go through the last rites of this innings, this tournament, this final, which will all obviously be won by the Jamaican team, we can cast our eyes onto the performances that we have seen, and maybe your indication of who may be your man of the series.
Here is this one being pulled. That's 6 runs. Lovely shot. Lovely shot from the big man Shepherd. That one stood up from Williams, and he pulled it just forward of square, in over the boundary and into that area just in front of the big scoreboard, electronic scoreboard. So Shepherd joins the act and at least gets some excitement for the Guyanese fans who may not be so happy this evening. He moves to 7 and the score up to 76. I think Walton is his big 100 in the final. Naturally, he would be man of the final. He also, came good with a 40-something, was not as consistent as you'd have liked. Here is this one. Oh, being driven, taken. Is it? No, it may have been on the bounce. That was Chadwick Walton. He's asking the umpire, what's the situation? But I got the impression the ball may have struck the ground earlier before it reached Walton when it came off the batsman's bat. Walton is still inquiring of the umpire.
Well, I think he's indicating that he would have taken it cleanly. Just the way Chadwick Walton has played this game, and to see him claiming that catch means that he would be very comfortable with the fact that it did carry to him. It looked to be getting there or just about. It seems to have been getting there on the half volley. So obviously it would have been a brilliant take by him. But the umpire has ruled not out.
So this time here is Shepherd. Faces up to Williams once again. Cracks this one out to the field at long off, wide long off, who comes off the boundary. That's Salmon, sends it in. The single takes Shepherd to 8. And the Guyana score up to 132 for 8.
But I certainly think, though, just looking at Shepherd bat and the way he has fielded in this tournament, his batting, his general attitude, his bowling, with some technical adjustments where he tends to be a little bit round arm with his delivery, he looks as if there's something to work with.
This time Bramber drives out towards mid wicket, gets a single, and the Guyana score trickles up to 133 for 8. There are 74 runs adrift at the end of over number 13. But you asked the question, coming into this game, Trevor Griffith would have had 97 runs. He would have been more consistent than Walton. Walton came into this game with 75. Griffith also scored a brilliant 69. It was overshadowed by Walton's 101, but it was still an excellent knock.
I think Salmon in the earlier games would have been very economical for the Jamaican team, bowling at the death more often than not. Smith
Walters as well. He had been economical. He has gotten 4 tonight. So
Smith did pick up some wickets early on too. But as you said, maybe that 100 by Chadwick Walton in tonight's final would have, pushed him over the edge, and he's definitely going to be the man of the match, but probably also the man of the series.
Right, so Smith came into this game with 8 wickets from all indication, and he has also been sharp, pretty much. Not the game in which we saw a lot of fast bowlers doing well, apart from Joseph opening, but Smith has been thoroughly consistent, and he has always been Jamaica's trump. Here is